Looking at the small intestine, as far as digesting, absorbing things, this is the most important organ when it comes to actually absorbing the nutrients in the food that you eat. So the small intestine is very long, average 20 feet. Here it receives the secretions from the pancreas and liver. We've talked about that. It completes the digestion, the nutrients and chyme. It absorbs, that's the most important thing, so your body can use it. It absorbs these nutrients. And then it transports remaining residues or wastes to your large intestine. So the small intestine has three main parts. Duodenum, which we've talked about a lot. That's where your pancreatic juices enter, your bile enters. Then we have the jejunum and the ileum. So there's three parts to it. The duodenum is the shortest. Most fixed means that it's fairly short and doesn't move very much. The rest of your small intestine is pretty mobile and it lies free, so there's more movement in the rest of it. The small intestine itself is suspended from the abdominal wall. There's a double-layered fold of peritoneum called mesentery. So when we dissected our cats, mesentery is basically this protective double layer that lays over the top of your organs. So if you deer hunt, or if you dissect a cat, or not so much a fetal pig, if you dissect a larger animal, you can find that mesentery that basically just hangs over the top of the small intestine and is there for mostly protective purposes. It also supports blood vessels, so provides nutrients and lymphatics that are going to help in your intestines. The greater omentum then is more of this that drapes over the intestine, and you can lift that away. So if I look at this mesentery is connected to and goes throughout the small intestine. Here's all your blood vessels that are located in it. Duodenum, short, pretty straight, fixed portion. Jejunum then is a very large part, a lot of your mobile part. Ileum is going to be towards the bottom of your small intestine. And then we'll get to your large intestine, which we'll talk about next time. Side view, this picture is probably not my favorite other than the greater omentum, and on this diagram it's not really easy to see, but like I said, this is what kind of hangs over the front. Also helps with protection along with your mesentery. Inner wall of the small intestine. So the inside of the stomach had rugae that could expand and allow your stomach to get larger. The inside of the intestine has these little finger-like villi, and what they do is they don't expand your intestine, but they give it a larger surface area. That way it can absorb more nutrients quickly. Each little villi or villus consists of simple columnar epithelium, so way back to the beginning of the year. Simple, it's single layered, that way it's easy to absorb things. Stuff can move through those cells very easily. Columnar, they're long shaped cells. Connective tissue, and then there's a lymphatic capillary called a lacteal. Between the bases of each villi are tubular little intestinal glands that are in between. So if I look at a picture, this would be one columnar cell, the little cells would be the columnar cells. This is a villi, so it's the extension that is lined with these single layer of column-shaped cells. Goblet cells are going to be important for releasing juices. And then intestinal gland is just this little area that separates one villi from the next. Cells that secrete mucus, here again, we want stuff lubricated so it moves very easily. Goblet cells are important for that. So goblet cells are very abundant in that mucosa layer. They are going to secrete mucus. Also, there are goblet cells in the submucosa that are going to secrete mucus as well. And then those glands, those little dips that I just showed you at the base of the villi, secrete a more watery fluid. And that watery fluid is going to carry a large amount of digestive products. These cells have enzymes. So here again, ACE, anything that ends with ACE is an enzyme. Pept has something to do with a protein. So peptidase breaks down peptides, which are smaller pieces of proteins, and breaks them into amino acids. Sucrase, maltase, lactase, like sucrose is a sugar. Maltose is a sugar. So sucrase breaks down sucrose. So they are going to break down fairly large sugar, a disaccharide, into a smaller sugar, a monosaccharide.